Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry for being a little bit late. We're going to reconvene our open session, and I'll ask Trustee Prendergast to report out actions taken in closed session.
Thank you, Trustee Jemal. First action, on a 7-0 vote, the board by unanimous vote took action to reject the claim filed by V. James DeSimone, Esquire, on behalf of Lisa Alvarez, and directed that the appropriate notice of claim rejection be prepared and served on Mr. DeSimone. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchker absent, the board denied appeal of administrative determination of a retired classified employee. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchker absent, the board rejected appeal of Title V unlawful discrimination complaint of a classified employee. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchker absent, the board rejected appeal of a Title V unlawful discrimination complaint of a classified employee. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchker absent, the board voted to approve a separation agreement for an academic administrator at Saddleback College. That is all I have to report.
Thank you for that. We will now have the invocation led by me, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Lang. We'll keep it short tonight. With the holiday season, we know it's in full swing, and we have time to reflect. At least, hopefully, have some time to reflect. I ask everyone to just take a moment and appreciate what we have here, which is an amazing community college district right in our backyard. Whether it's the first choice or a second chance, we are a better community for offering quality, affordable education to our students. And I kid you not, a day doesn't pass by when I don't run into someone connected to this district, whether it's here or traveling around the country or even abroad, as I happen to do on occasion. It's usually a student, but sometimes someone else connected to our district. Without education, you don't have a civil society, you don't have a free society, you don't have the rule of law. So education is really the key to everything that we do, in my opinion. I'm really grateful for this institution, and I know all of you are as well, so please just take some time to reflect, if you're able, over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Please join me as we salute the flag of this great nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We are at our annual organization. No, we're not. Before we do that, I will have the privilege of administering the oath of office to, we had 3 trustees reelected and 2 are here this evening. And do you want me to stand over there? Okay.
We go over there, right?
Yeah. Well, I have son. I have the honor of administering the oath of office to 2 of our trustees on their reelection, Trustee T.J. Prendergast and Trustee Terry Witt. So, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, T.J. Prendergast,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or trying to break it up, or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully
I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very much.
Congratulations.
You got anybody here you want to know?
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You gonna say a few words?
Just acknowledging the support of my amazing wife who's here through 45 minutes of blistering traffic to now turn around and go back home. Thank you.
Congratulations again. Now we are at the annual organization meeting. This is where we elect our officers, and the first item up is, our annual organization meeting, our first item will be the election of our officers. So I think the way we're going to do it is take it in the order of the office, starting with the president of the board. So do we have any nominations for board president? Yes, Trustee Jay. I thank you for that. That's a wonderful nomination. I am going to defer or demur at this time. And I've had the pleasure of being the president for the last 3 years, and I thank the board for that. I think it is important to have a rotation of officers, especially at the presidency. So at this time, I very respectfully and with a lot of respect decline for this next year. So I will. Any other motions and offers to be
Yes.
president?
I would like to nominate the re-elected T.J. Pendergast as president.
Second.
We have a motion to elect Trustee Prendergast to the position of Trustee Board President. We have a motion from Trustee Witt and a second from Trustee Wright.
Let me check with the boss first. Okay. Okay. All right. She says okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Any questions or discussions? Let's go ahead and vote. The motion to have Trustee Prendergast serve as board president for the following year is carried by a unanimous trustee yes vote. One unanimous, one abstention, and there is a trustee absent. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you supposed to move here now?
I don't think I take over quite yet. I think you got to finish it out.
All right. All right. The next office up is the office of vice president. And
I would like to nominate our president, Tim Jemal, as vice president for a strong reason, and that is for the leadership that you've carried out in the last 4 years, and that we've all been through different chancellors, different leaderships, and that you would carry that thread throughout the next year. I think that's very important.
thank you for that. That's
I support that.
very kind offer. I will accept. Thank you. So we have a motion for myself to serve as vice president in a second, and let's go ahead and vote. And the motion carries by 5 trustee yes votes, 1 abstention, and 1 trustee who is absent. The next office is the office of clerk. Do we have a motion?
Yes, I would like to nominate the person sitting on my right who has been a great mentor to me, who has led us in many great discussions on this board. And I think Dr. Wright, Trustee Wright, would be wonderful as clerk. I don't like to say wonderful, would be very intuitive and brings along many, many years of experience.
We have a motion from Trustee Witt, and I guess Trustee Jay got it, Dave. A second from Trustee Jay to nominate Trustee Jim Wright to serve as board clerk for the forthcoming year. So a motion and a second, no further questions. Let's go ahead and vote. I take that as a yes. All right. Trustee Wright is elected to the position of clerk of the board by a 5-0 trustee yes vote, 1 abstention, and there's trustee absent. Now we'll move on. Congratulations, Trustee Wright.
Thank you.
After.
Okay. Exhibit B, we're now going to consider the appointment of a secretary and assistant secretary, and I think we can do these two together. And that is for Chancellor Burke to serve as a secretary of the board and Anne-Marie Gable, Vice Chancellor of Business Services, to serve as assistant secretary. There's already a motion. All right, motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Prendergast. No further questions. Let's go ahead and vote. We have a 6-0 trustee yes vote in favor of Chancellor Burke and Vice Chancellor Gable, the service secretary and assistant secretary. Congratulations. The next item is we have a number of committees within the district that trustees, on which trustees serve. First of which is a representative to the nominating committee to the Committee on School District Organization. Our current representative is Trustee Wright, and the alternate is Trustee Prendergast. And I guess the question is, would you like to retain that post?
There's not much to it.
Well, then I definitely would be the alternate for that.
I'll do it.
All right, and I think we can consider these two together, correct? All right. We have a motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Jay on the nominating committee to the Committee on School District Organization. And let's go ahead and vote. The appointment is confirmed by a 6-0 trustee yes vote. Let's move on to the representative to the Orange County Legislative Task Force. The current occupant as the representative is not here with us. She's in a nice place at her son's wedding. Marcia Milchiker is the current representative. The alternate is Trustee Lang. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed one. My bad. The district's political action rep to the Orange County School Board Association. Thank you for correcting me on that. The current representative is Trustee Witt.
I would like to ask if Trustee Pendergast would like to do it, and I would be his alternate because he has served more directly than I have. I've seen it in action at the meeting.
Well, I don't think this
No, that's not the representative, that's different.
I don't think this one has
It's the
an
political
alternate.
action group.
It's political action.
Sure, I'll be political.
Yeah, the Orange County School Board Association position I have, I'm elected by them
but
through
you're
the
always
nominating committee that Jim is on.
Right.
So that's not
Right.
That's
us,
fine.
it's them.
I'll do that.
So this is the district's political action rep to the Orange County School Board Association. All right, we have a motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Jay, and this is for Trustee Witt to retain this post. Let's go ahead and vote. Someone needs to vote. Motion carries by 6-0 trustee yes vote. Congratulations, Trustee Witt. Now we're on to where I was before, which is the representative to the Orange County Legislative Task Force. Current trustee representative is Trustee Milchiker, and the alternate is Trustee Lang. How do you want the position? No. Okay.
I think this is a roommate law one. You're not here, you get it.
I know. Yep,
Get
it's going to
Marcia.
be. We have trustee Milchiker as the trustee representative and trustee Lang as the alternate. And we have a motion from trustee Lang and a second from trustee Wright. Let's go ahead and vote. And the motion carries by a 6-0. Trustee yes vote. Congratulations, trustee Milchiker, and abstention. All right. Representative to the South Orange County Community College District Audit Committee. Current chair is trustee Lang. Two representatives are trustee Wright and trustee Prendergast. Do you mean, wait, Mike? Well, we'd like you to stay in the role,
Yes, we'd like you.
unless you're seeking not to be in the role.
That's fine.
Okay.
To give somebody else
But
an
you may
opportunity.
want
But I don't
to, as
mean-
board president.
I mean, I'm fine with not being the other representative if somebody else wants to do that, but I definitely, trustee Lang's done an amazing job as the chair,
Yes, he is.
and we'd like to keep him there if you will so have it. But yeah, I'm willing to give up a spot for somebody else to be on the committee.
I'll be one of the reps too.
Okay, so we have trustee Lang to be the chair, trustee Wright to be one of the reps, currently trustee Prendergast, and hearing no one else clamoring to be it,
Sounds like Marcia to me.
Tim, are you interested in it? Tim, are you interested in it?
I am not.
Okay, all right.
So I would suggest we keep it as is. Okay? And we need a second. We have a second. So we have a motion from trustee Jay, second from trustee Witt, that would maintain the current makeup of our audit committee as published in the agenda. So let's go ahead and vote. So the motion carries by a 6-0 trustee yes vote. Moving on to our representative, the trustee representative to the Saddleback College Foundation. Our current rep is, we'll do them together? Okay. So we have a representative to Saddleback College Foundation, trustee Witt, and representative to the Irvine Valley College Foundation, trustee Jay. I would,
Move approval of both.
okay. Got a motion from trustee Lang to have, and second from trustee Prendergast to keep trustee Witt as the rep to the Saddleback College Foundation, trustee Jay as the rep to the IVC Foundation. Seeing no other questions, let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries by a 6-0 trustee yes vote. Oh, and I'm sorry, I haven't been acknowledging the student trustee. With the student trustee yes vote. My apologies. All right, we're now on to appoint representatives, trustee representatives to the board policy subcommittee, which was approved at last month's meeting. And we need to have a nominated chair and 2 representatives to this subcommittee.
I would like to nominate trustee Jemal for chair, if you would take it. I don't know if it's somebody else like to do it. But being the past president, I think you would serve very well on this committee. Would you like to do it?
I would, thank you.
Really?
Thank you for the nomination. Do we, well,
No,
I
the
think we're gonna
reps.
concur, there's 2 other reps. I would,
I wouldn't, mind.
Terry?
oh,
I wouldn't mind.
we
My
have
name's
interest
on
on
there
this
3
side of
times.
the dais as well.
Yeah, trustee Lang, are you interested in that?
Trustee Jay indicated an interest.
Okay,
She did say she was interested,
okay.
but
You're the wordsmith, that's why I thought maybe you'd want to.
I'll continue
You
to
know,
provide.
I would like
in that
to,
regard.
Marcia's not here, so she didn't know about this one. Did you just say, trustee Jay, you're interested too?
Yeah, but that
Okay,
Marcia wants it.
No, I don't know if she
there's
wants
two.
it. She's not here.
There's-
But I don't
there's-
see her name along here, so.
There's room for, assuming I get approved, there's room for two other trustee reps on the subcommittee.
I would be. I would be.
All right, I'll make that motion.
But who's the second one?
Trustee
Jay?
Jay.
Trustee Jay.
Great.
So we have a motion from trustee Lang, second from trustee Prendergast, to have myself, trustee Witt, and trustee Jay serve as the representatives on the board policy subcommittee. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries by a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Exhibit D is the establishment of our regular meeting dates for 2019. Is there a motion to approve? There is. Motion from trustee Lang and a second from trustee Wright. Let's go ahead and vote. Oh, any questions?
Yeah, I have a
Oh,
question.
sorry.
Just had one.
I-
My
I
bad.
super apologize for this because it wasn't an issue until 4 days ago. But I will have to miss the June 24th meeting unless we moved it to the 17th. But I just found this out, so I totally understand if we just leave it as is and then
Can
Maybe
I
we can
ask?
move it later.
move it
Can-
later.
Let's just keep it
or
as is for now.
After people look
Yeah.
at calendars and stuff.
We did that last year.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
moved a couple meetings.
Yeah.
When is
Okay.
Father's Day? Does anybody see that? I know it's in June. 17th? Oh, I can't come then. Okay.
All right, so we have motion and a second, and we're voting, and let's finish any other questions? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. We need to vote. Oh, I thought she. Motion carries by a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Next up is Exhibit E, establishment of agenda planning calendar, the 2019 planning calendar. A motion from trustee Lang, second from trustee Wright. We can discuss it now. You want to turn your mic on? So the question is about the board self-evaluation date.
Right, so the board retreat and self-evaluation is scheduled as a special meeting in June, which was the former date for it. As you may recall, we have your goals are 18-month goals because they're very specific and metric-driven. We're not really going to have all the data until sometime in October or November. So the question is, do you wish to leave the retreat and self-evaluation in June, or would you like to move it until some point in the fall?
Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, I think just looking at this, it seems like the obvious switch would be to move the board education workshop to the June date or June time period and then move the retreat to the October time, just like flip those slots. If that works.
So, that's fine.
Can we ever do it in May? Would that help you?
It's too busy in May.
That is true. Yeah, it's true.
End of semester.
Okay, that's fine with me.
So October?
So what we're moving,
Just flipping the education workshop to the June time period with the retreat in the October time period.
having the board self-evaluation in October now.
To give time
Yeah,
for
so we would move
Yeah.
these two.
Yeah, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that works. Any other questions or changes? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries by 6-0 yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. And the last exhibit is the agenda format, approval of our agenda format. We have a motion on that from trustee Lang and a second from trustee Jay. Any questions? All right, let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries by 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. We are now gonna,
President Jemal?
Yes.
Can I just ask someone to fix my screen because it doesn't go back? I always have to hit back to the floor. I know, but normally it goes back. So I just have to hit it every single time.
We all do.
Oh, I never did. for part of the,
It doesn't auto switch back.
oh, sorry about that. Okay,
Hit on the floor.
got it. I know, I'm doing that.
All right, we're gonna take a very short recess to do some musical chairs, rearrange things. We'll be back shortly.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Oh, okay,
Marcia, right there.
turn that on.
They'll be here, right?
Yes, Marcia. Right there.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's just, it's time, get someone else, thank you. Nice job. Thank you.
Trade share.
You're sitting here?
I just need one chair. Thank you.
Can I get, someone turn up, it's on its way? Well, I can sign out. Oh, are you into some? I brought my pen, yeah.
Here. Just this one.
You sign there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Someone did it? Sort of.
Switchy.
I feel lonely back there.
Hey, TJ, you don't want to be impeached yet, do you? She's a non-voting today. All right, thank you very much. We're returning to our regularly scheduled program. Right now, we're on 2.6, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any item on the agenda at this time. And again, we usually ask that you try and limit your discussion to 2 minutes. It looks like we have one request from Lisa Alvarez.
Hi, I'm Lisa Alvarez, professor of English at IVC. Earlier this year, I became aware that I, along with another faculty member, was the target of letters filed by a former student, which were disturbing and threatening. You, the board members, have received copies of my letter. I expect that when you read it, you quickly recognized its worrisome contents. I was not informed of this letter until weeks after the fact, and faculty and staff, not just me, became alarmed, and not for the first time, and not because of the existence of such troubled students, but because of the failure of our institution to act swiftly and prudently. The administrative response was so disappointing that I reached out to an attorney friend to file a complaint which asked for, among other actions, the implementation of policies to ensure that this does not happen again, the formation of a threat assessment team, and a review of IVC's Title IX office. Like the board, I recently received a letter from the district's lawyer regarding my attorney's request, and you acted on that tonight. The district's lawyer offered a defensive response that, along with an incomplete and distorted presentation of events which erased my own advocacy's role in the actions taken, and failed to specify large gaps of time between actions, but most importantly, failed to address my core concerns, which are not financial compensation, but campus safety and college leadership. In times like these, colleges must reconsider their approach to protecting students, staff, and faculty. In times like these, the times often called Me Too, the assessment of credible threats must include the perspective of the target, so often women, the threat assessors, so often men. Many at IVC sense a great complacency and failure to take seriously and respectfully are very real concerns about safety. Instead, our concerns are routinely diminished and dismissed. The board has an opportunity to do what we at IVC sorely need: lead. We hope you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have board reports. Item 3.1, oral reports. Again, we'd like to try and limit to 2 minutes as well. We'll start down at this end. Trustee Lang.
Yes, I think I can stay well within my 2 minutes. First, I want to congratulate the former officers of the board, and particularly Trustee Jemal, on doing a fabulous job as president of this board for the length of time that you served in that capacity. And obviously offer my wishes to the new officers of the board that you will also have a very successful tenure. I want to wish to all members of the public a very happy holidays and a very happy and healthy new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Jay.
I want to wish everybody happy holidays too, and congratulate our new officers. Congratulations. On Friday, November 30th and Sunday, December the 2nd, I attended the Feast of Lights, taking a group of friends with me. The performance was outstanding. I particularly enjoyed the African musical number Noel. It was very interesting and lots of fun to see. I loved the last number, Let There Be Peace on Earth. The soloist was fantastic. He was Trinidad Cano. What a great voice he has. I hope he uses his voice a lot because it was wonderful. 1,535 tickets were sold for the 5 nights of Feast of Lights. On the December the 3rd, Monday, I attended the nursing pinning ceremony at the McKinney Theater. 51 nurses were pinned at the ceremony. It was a wonderful evening and celebration. December 5th, I went to the Saddleback Presidential Holiday Open House, which this event was very well attended. Excellent food and lots of good conversation. On December 6th, I went to IVC Laser Polar Express End of the Year celebration. The event was lots of fun with a silent auction and games and a delightful lunch. Again, this event was very well attended, even in the pouring rain. On Friday, December the 7th, I attended Adopt a Family holiday program at the IVC cafeteria. Had lunch and had my picture taken with Santa Claus. This event was very crowded, well attended. And Saturday, December the 8th, I attended the Holiday Big Band concert. Joey Sellers was outstanding again. It was a wonderful evening. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Trustee Jemal.
You're going to skip yourself?
Yeah, I'll go last.
Oh, wow. New sheriff. All right. So I want to thank the board, my colleagues, for allowing me to be the president the last few years. And thank you, Trustee Lang, for your kind remarks, Trustee Jay for the nomination. We have a really good board here. We don't always agree, and there's a lot of passion. But when there's disagreement, there's civility and there's substance. And so I think that's why I think what you see here is largely what you see in closed session as well, in the matters we have to deal with. A lot of passion, with civility and substance, and then we move forward. And I think it's reflective in the college and the colleges in the district moving forward. And I wish you the best in the role of the presidency. I did attend the nurses pinning ceremony as well. It's one of the highlights of the year at Saddleback College, and again, another fabulous pinning of our nurses. Actually, I think it was the shortest ceremony in the history of the ceremonies, but still well done. The holiday party at IVC I attended. We were in a runoff for the pole toss victory. I bagged one and should have had two, but Glenn bagged one as well. We went to a runoff, but we didn't prevail. So, but the holiday party was a lot of fun. June, you were dressed as something. I don't know, something unusual.
Yeah, you were a polar bear. You're white.
So that was great. And then the Saddleback College holiday party was also wonderful. Jim and your team put together a great event, and just reflect on during the holidays. And we have a great college, we have a great district, we have great colleges, and let's continue moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Wright.
Thank you very much. And I want to congratulate TJ and also Tim for their new positions. And it'd be wonderful to work with them. So congratulations to both of you. I also attended the Feast of Lights. I went on Saturday, December the 1st, a wonderful program. It's always, my wife and I really enjoy going to that event because it really starts our Christmas celebration as we go there and listen to some wonderful music. On Monday, December the 3rd, I attended the nursing pinning ceremony and picked up this brochure or this pamphlet that had pictures of all 51 nurses who were received their pins at that time. On Tuesday, December the 4th, I attended the Crisis Communication Plan interview with Scott Summerfield. He's hired by SAE Communications. The district is in the process of putting together a crisis communication plan. And most of the trustees are going to be interviewed, and a number of people around the campus on what should be included in this plan. And so I think it'll be a wonderful plan once it's put together. On Wednesday, December the 5th, I also attended the Saddleback College President's Open House. On Thursday, December the 6th, I attended the Laser Polar Express Employee End of the Year celebration, a wonderful celebration. In fact, I actually won a prize at that event, so it was worth going to. And then finally, I had the TV on this morning and was listening to the news, and all of a sudden, it named my hometown. There is a woman whose name is Kelsey Barrett. She's missing, and she took with her her daughter, and they found that she was missing, and she was in Colorado, and in Woodland Park. That was the last time she was seen, and the next time was that there was a telephone call that was made from Gooding, Idaho. That's where I was born and raised and stayed for 18 years and left. So that's the first time I've heard Gooding, Idaho on the main news.
Thank you. Trustee Witt.
Well, good evening, everyone. And if I don't get a chance at the end, I want to wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful holiday and a really blessed new year. I really hope that let there be harmony, that let there be in all our Christmas songs. Actually, it's the first time in about 5 years that I've enjoyed listening to Christmas songs, and it's a good feeling. And some of the words, I actually think about this college being here. I know I always say it, but I'm so proud. 44 years is a long time, and I hope that many of you can enjoy it for that long or longer. I have to say that I've received several telephone calls. Terry, where are you? Are you sick? I did not attend anything this past month. I have a dear friend who is seriously ill, and 2 clinical trials have turned out to be a wash. And she's a graduate of Saddleback College. She's a nurse, and it's with prayers, maybe another month. But at any rate, so I just haven't been in the festive spirit that way, but I do when I listen to the radio. I just want to say thank you to this board. I'm the new girl on the block, and I have learned so much. I want to tell you, it is a pleasure and an honor to serve them. And I'd like to thank the new officers. I look forward to this combination again. I know you guys must think we play musical chairs, but it really is an honor. And I think that you see that we have harmony, at least up here, and that we really care, I mean, truly care about the two colleges, about the district, and about our community, and especially our students. And thank you for being such good leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, first, thank you very much for all the kind words, and I appreciate that, the nomination and the vote. I also want to thank Trustee Jemal for his leadership and helping us through some pretty tough times, the chancellor searches and the president searches and the turnover that we've had. It could not have been easy, and I'm glad it's done. Thanks. And then also just to reiterate the wishful holiday season and kind of segue on Trustee Witt, it's not always happy for everyone. It can be tough times, so we have to kind of keep that in mind, but we all do our best I can to lift those people up to make it happy for them, and let's continue to do that. I did also attend the nurses pinning. Surprised Trustee Jemal had a personal connection with one of the graduates, was really kind of cool. And then I found out that night that I knew a couple of the graduates. Brian Park was the brother-in-law of a former colleague of mine. And then Kristen Lynch, who's the daughter of our own water polo coach here at Saddleback College, went through it as well. So it was a very joyous event. And I think I missed the Feast of Lights for the first time since I've been a trustee, and I'm regretting it. I really enjoy that event, and I'm glad to hear that it was great, and I'm sad to hear that it was great because I missed it. But thank you for everybody that's putting those things on. Those are joyous events, and they do help lift spirits. So keep up the good work. With that, student trustee.
Yes, I'd also love to wish everyone a happy holidays and congratulations to everyone for their new board positions. With UC applications finally closing, I feel like all the students have finally breathed a sigh of relief, but finals came and fixed that, so that's really fun. On October 28th, I attended the IVC Senate Fair and the Student Safety Forum. The Senate Fair, it's a really amazing event that I think just started this year by our great VP. It's basically where in the quad, every single academic department, they have their own booth with the deans, the professors, and all the co-curricular clubs, and it's a really great way for students to get involved. So I was there on behalf of the humanities club, so it was really great to reach out to students. That was followed by the Student Safety Forum, in which I, Matt, our Chief Justice, and the board members of the clubs whose flyers we've defaced, which we've talked about a lot before, they were also in attendance. And one thing that really stood out to me in that event was there was one student who was a board member for MSA, or the Muslim Student Association, and she talked about how on the flyer her face was scribbled out and how the pins they used to attach posters, they were on her face and all the faces of all the other board members, and how the person that did that is walking on campus and knows what she looks like and knows a time and a place that she's at exactly, and how that's what student safety is to her, and that's what she thinks about when she goes to class. So the session ended with a call to action amongst the students and what they want to do, and the general consensus was that student safety shouldn't be politicized, it should be a right. Next, I attended on December 7th the Student Life and Equity Leadership Monthly Training, which is what we have every month. It's with ASG, but we also have peer mentors, Dream Scholars for Undocumented Students, as well as ASG. And it was attended by Dr. Glenn Rockmore as well, who gave a really amazing talk. He addressed campus discrimination concerns, his future vision for IBC, and he gave really great finals advice as a former teacher, so that was really nice. And with that, I wish everyone happy holidays.
Thank you. All right, next we have Chancellor's report.
So I also want to wish everybody happy holidays and restful break coming up. This was my first opportunity to attend the nurses pinning, which was spectacular, and the events, the holiday events at both Saddleback and IVC. They were both a great deal of fun, and lots of spirit shown at both. On Friday, we had the district administrators meeting, where we awarded service pins for 5, 10, 20, and 1 pin for 30 years of service to the district. And we gave the District Manager of the Year award, which was given to Jeff Doors this year for all of his support and work on our network services. And then finally, I would like to thank Trustee Jemal for his leadership over this year, over the process of the selection of a new chancellor. Thank you. And to give you an award in appreciation for your, or a plaque, in appreciation for your service as the board president.
They need a photo.
What's that?
Let me just get out of the way.
Thank you, Ken.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So, do you have anything else? All right. Next, we have the college president's reports. Who'd like to go first? President Rockmore, looks like.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, congratulations to the new board leadership. And want to mention, because it's in my report, and although it happened a month ago, but it's in my report, I'd like to talk again about Carrie Tucker McCorkill and the fact that she is the Orange County Teacher of the Year for all community colleges. And it was great to be there with her when she received her award. This time of year, I have the opportunity to meet with students. I don't know why it happens so much right now, but I had the opportunity to speak to ASG, which was very rewarding. And over the weekend, I had the opportunity to speak to Phi Theta Kappa students that are working on a college project, which they do every year. And this one was asking, what is your academic pathway and what led you to the major that you chose, and try to help them understand how to do that better. And then before long, I'll be speaking to students in the honors program as they're being inducted for the new season there. So enjoy that really very much, meeting with our students. And everybody have a wonderful, restful holiday season.
Thank you very much. President Vice.
Thank you. I too would like to congratulate the newly elected officers of the board, and I'd wish everyone on behalf of the college, the board, district services staff, IVC faculty and staff, a happy holiday season. I would like to note that the women's cross country team has had quite a season this year. They won the Orange Empire Conference for the first time in the college's history. The team also captured 5th place at the state championship in Fresno. And finally, the coach, Matt Sherman, was named OEC Coach of the Year. So that's quite a trifecta for the season. Finally, I would note that we are, as part of our 50th anniversary celebration, collecting stories from alums. And if you go on the Saddleback College website and click on the link to the 50th anniversary webpage, you can read those stories that are starting to accumulate. We're up approaching 30 stories at this point. And, you know, it's hard to get to alums to let them know that we are doing that. So if anyone knows an alum or meets an alum, as was noted earlier, one often runs into alums all over the country. Ask them if they've written a story. We'd love to have a much bigger collection, but it is fun reading and interesting reading, and if you get a moment, take a look. Again, happy holidays. I hope everyone has a wonderful and restful break. I think everybody's earned it because everyone's worked awfully hard the last several months. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Associated Student Governments. I guess we'll start with ASG IVC or Saddleback. We'll go with Saddleback. All right.
So this past Friday, December 7th, myself and a few other members on ASG attended the California Community College League Housing and Food Insecurity Conference at Compton College. And it was super encouraging to see that all of the California community colleges are coming together and starting to take bold action to tackle the problems of housing and food insecurities. And there were some alarming statistics, such as their task force found that over the past few years that over 25% of California community college students have experienced homelessness. That's hundreds of thousands of students. And Compton College right now is looking into, and they're pushing forward with the getting affordable housing on their campus. So it was encouraging to see that multiple community colleges are starting to be forward thinking and not sweep the problems of housing and food insecurity under the rug. And I'm excited to carry on with what ASG pushing these initiatives to the forefront of the college next semester. And after tomorrow, we are getting ready for winter break and then our retreat that we have at the beginning of January. Thank you.
You, ASIVC.
Good evening, trustees. I'll be kind of echoing Evelyn a little bit here, but a little over a week ago, we had our student forum, and we were able to work with the Orange County Human Relations team. About 3 members of them came, and they really helped make a formative dialogue for us, setting community guidelines for the discussion. And we found a lot of issues ranging from general student safety to faculty treatment and relations with students. And it's really going to help us form a better conversation going forward between both faculty, staff, and students alike. And likewise, we also had the Student Senate pop-up, and deans and student senators were able to inform students of guided pathways within that academic school. And it also is inspiring an initiative to have a summit where we'll be hosting influential figures from people in the industry that are pertaining to those academic schools in order for students to get some hands-on real-life experience with someone who's in a job that they could be looking for in the future. And we're also excited to announce our first annual Cramathon. We'll be having our Student Activity Center open for 24 hours starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. And we're going to have both breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night snacks. And there's going to be a DJ coming in along with some cathartic dance parties going on. And we'll be hosting some stress reduction workshops too, making stress balls, slime, as well as some study hacks and tips to hopefully get students through finals as best as we can. And also, we are concluding our ASG for the year as of for the semester, as of last Friday. Thank you.
Perfect. I think our board goal about looking into non-academic barriers is very timely. It sounds like it's well needed. All right, thank you. All right, with that, do I have any board requests for reports? Seeing none, and we have no 4.0 discussion item. So we'll move on to 5.0 consent calendar. Do I have any polls? That's got to be a record.
Close.
All right. All right, so I have a motion from Trustee Wright and a second from Trustee Jemal to pass the consent calendar balance, which is all of them. So we'll go ahead and vote on the item. Looks like a unanimous trustee yes vote, 1 trustee absent, and a student trustee yes vote. All right, moving on to 6.0 general action item. 6.1 grant Saddleback College collaborative research. NSF includes Alliance STEM core expansion and Subaward issuance to Community College of Baltimore County. Do I have a motion and a second? A motion from Trustee Jay, second from Trustee Wright, and a request to speak from Trustee Lang.
Yes, these are, I think, such significant grants in my view. I wanted to, I guess, get a little bit more high-level explanation from the folks that are involved with these grants. And then I had a question about, I think later on in the agenda we'll get to 6.11, which is to hire a consultant, which I think also may have to do with this grant. So I'm interested to know what sort of an effort is involved on our part versus use of outside consultants, versus efforts by our internal folks.
So that would be Vice President. Oh, okay.
Good evening, trustees and Chancellor. With regards to our NSF grant, we actually are the lead college We do provide services as part of the project, but our main goal as the lead college is to replicate our program model in 4 hubs, and each hub has about 5 to 6 colleges that are attached to it. Currently, right now at Saddleback, we actually have 150 students going through our STEM core cohort, and we are in charge of the Southern California hub. And in our other 3 hubs, we have Metro DC, which is serving 25 because they're our newest, the Midwest, 498 students, and then Pacific Northwest, which is 143 students. Growth Sector, who is a partner with the item 6.2, they are our intermediary and they're the backbone organization. So they work in partnership with us to provide coordination, training, convenings, and they also partner with business industry partners to provide internships. Right now, they have secured several lab locations for our students to participate in summer internships. The model starts off with a pre-STEM program, so it actually captures the students before they enter calculus class, which is the first course that students actually take once they get into the STEM pathway. And so what we do is we provide supplemental instruction, leadership development, and the program is targeted towards students who are first generation, low income, and underrepresented. The goal is to get students to calculus because we've seen that once a student is able to pass calculus, they're able to succeed in the STEM pathway. And so there's a lot of supports before the student actually even completes their calculus course. The program models is very successful. I actually was lucky enough to start the first program up in Chabot. And so I'm excited that Saddleback is actually the leader in helping many other colleges start to develop similar programming. Any further questions you might have?
Did that help?
Yeah, that helps a bit, I think. Explain the, how we use outside consultants versus our own internal folks in servicing the grant.
Yeah, so internally, we actually have our dean of math, science, and engineering, as well as a faculty member as the principal investigators. Our Dr. Jim Zoval is our chemistry instructor, who is the main lead researcher for the project. On campus, we also have, through our business office, grants area supporting the project with regards to fiscal supports. The growth sector group actually does a lot of the collaborations, and they'll organize with our partners to convene all of the different networks and hubs to ensure that the program implementation is following the structures that we've seen to be successful. So they help to go out and do all the professional development. They convene the partners along with the schools. They'll connect the schools. They'll work on different trainings for the counselor advisors. And they'll also be working with our evaluators at Stanford.
Terrific, thank you.
So I think your question about 611 is about the external evaluator.
Yes.
So by its design, it has to be someone external to the
Yes.
college because they have to provide an objective view, so we can't evaluate ourselves and say, oh yeah, we're doing a great job meeting the goals of the grant. So you have an external evaluator provide that service. So that's the 611 item.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do you have anything to add? We support.
Hi, Roxanne Metz from I'm the Director of Fiscal and Contract Services at Saddleback College. The Grants Office serves in a kind of, as Vice President Vo Kumamoto mentioned, in a fiscal capacity, providing technical and resource support to the grant, and also ensuring compliance with the programmatic terms and conditions, federal guidelines, and the guidelines of the National Science Foundation. The two items before you in this section are subrecipient agreements. There will be two more subrecipient agreements coming as part of this grant. I anticipate in January. That would be with Stanford University as a subrecipient, and then also with San Jose Evergreen Community College District.
And I'm assuming I'm right that this is a very big deal
Yes.
for Saddleback College.
It's a big deal. Yeah. The includes, I don't know exactly what the acronym stands for. It's the nations, communities of learners who have underrepresented discoverers in engineering and science or something like that. But it's one of the 10 big ideas of the National Science Foundation. It was, and Saddleback College was really fortunate to be funded in the first round of pilot grants 2 years ago. We received a design and development launch pilot grant from the National Science Foundation. We were one of 2 community colleges nationwide to receive that. And then we were funded in the very first round of the national alliances. This includes program is one of the 10 big ideas of the National Science Foundation. It's in the personal portfolio of Dr. France Cordova, the director of the National Science Foundation, who has come out to California to meet with us to learn more about what we're up to. And we're really honored to have the opportunity to further the STEM core in a national alliance.
Thank you. That's exactly the commentary I was looking for.
Perfect, thank you. Trustee Wright.
Yes, I just wanted to comment on this a little bit. This $8.8 million is a big deal. And the other thing is I happen to know Jim Zowal very well because I was part of hiring him a number of years ago to teach chemistry, and he's absolutely a superb individual and will do a wonderful job here. It might be worthwhile to have them come sometime and just brief us a little bit, the board, about what's happening here and how it's happening so that we know a little bit about what's going on. But this is a big deal. And I just want to applaud Saddleback for receiving this grant.
Trustee Jemal.
Yeah, and I'm just going to join in the parade because I'm not going to comment on every item. I've been involved in writing and developing NSF grants myself. Also getting external evaluators, and they are very expensive, unfortunately, and they're required. But congratulations to Saddleback to get in the queue here with NSF. It is a significant accomplishment, and totally supportive of what you're doing. Thank you.
Trustee Witt.
May I ask who wrote the RFPs, request for proposals? Did we have anything to do with that, or was it because of our STEM project in existence?
The solicitations come from the federal government based on their priorities, and the Includes is one of the newer programs of the NSF, and it was pulled together to broaden participation among minorities and others underrepresented in STEM to the field of science. And Saddleback College submitted a 5-page response to a request for letters of intent. And it was based on the bridge to engineering work that was started here 6 years ago, and that Vice President Kumamoto mentioned she had involvement in the very early inception of at another college. Saddleback College kind of picked up that ball and has moved with it with funding from the Department of Labor and other funding sources. And then working with our partners that we've been working with for a number of years, we responded to the federal government with a 5-page response to a letter of interest, which resulted in a $299,000 grant to the college for a design development launch pilot. And then the NSF 2 years later came out with the Includes, with the Alliance solicitation, which we responded to.
Did you write that first 5 pages?
My office has been instrumental in assisting the PI and others at the college in developing all of our grant proposals.
Okay, thank you.
Frank Gonzalez.
All right, thank you very much. So with that, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. We have a unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Okay, next we have 6.2, basically
We've covered
related, already covered, so I'll entertain a motion in a second on that. See no more requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. Oh, sorry, moved by trustee Jemal, seconded by trustee Lang.
Just wanted you to say my name.
Yeah,
I didn't see it on my screen. I don't see that.
Tim Jamal.
okay. We have a unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Next, we have 6.3, travel contract for study abroad programs to Costa Rica for Saddleback College students, American Institute for Foreign Study. I have a motion and second. Motion from trustee Wright, a second from trustee Jay, a request to speak from trustee Lang.
Yes, this sounds like an absolutely fabulous trip, a place that I want to go to myself one of these days. But I was noting that, and of course I'm noting obviously that there is evidence of a liability insurance and so forth. But as I look on Exhibit D, and particularly pages 5 of 10, there's some really fun activities here like zip lining and whitewater rafting and crocodile safari, and some of these things had me a little concerned about the potential participant risk involved.
You really want to go now, don't you?
I do, absolutely. But yes, I have to make sure my students are safe. So I would like some comments about that.
You know, trustee Milchiker goes on these trips. You can too.
I know, we do.
She does. She's gone on a couple.
So programmatically, these activities are extra. They're not required, and so they're like co-curricular activities. The faculty feel that they provide students with an opportunity to observe the ecosystem, right in front of them, and the topography of the area. And they feel like it's very valuable as part of the learning experience for their courses.
Okay, so being elective, that means that the district would not be at risk if something were to happen.
So I'll let Priya answer that.
Good evening, trustees. So the company that we are going with, AIFS, has $51 million in liability coverage and are going to include us as additional endors. So they do have enough coverage to cover this trip well in excess of what we've asked for in the contract. We feel comfortable with moving that direction with the contractor-provided liability coverage and risk protection.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Seeing no more requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. We have a unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student trustee advisory yes vote. All right, moving on, 6.4, travel contract for study abroad program to Salamanca, Spain for Saddleback College students, travel and education. I have a motion from trustee Lang, a second from trustee Jay. Seeing no request to speak, go ahead and vote on the item. You have a unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student trustee advisory yes vote. Thank you. On 6.5, travel contract for study abroad program to Santander, Spain for Saddleback students, travel and education. Approve the Saddleback College study abroad program to Santander, Spain. A motion from trustee Lang, second from trustee Jay. Seeing no request to speak, we can go and vote on the item.
Someone hasn't voted.
All right, we have a unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.6, award of contract for cogeneration and central plant operation, maintenance, and environmental compliance services at Saddleback College. motion from trustee Wright and a second from trustee Lang. Seeing no requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. We have a unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.7, adopt resolution number 18-37, authorizing Snap-on industrial equipment as the single source standard for procurement for the National Coalition of Certification Centers Certification Program. I have a motion from trustee Jay, a second from trustee Wright, a request to speak from trustee Lang.
Yes, just very quickly in talking about this item very briefly with the Chancellor beforehand, she mentioned she had some prior experience with this at, I think, Pierce College, and that you were able to strike a very good deal for the college with respect to the contract, and I was hoping that we would have arrived at the same dynamic here in our district, so would like any comments about that.
Good evening, trustees again. So we are working with the certification program, and currently Snap-on is matching all the prices that we're getting with Los Angeles Community College District. We're actually further negotiating it at the moment to get a discount of 50% and over as a guaranteed minimum. And that is something that has been escalated to the highest level in the company. We're waiting for answers. But right now, our prices are matched with that of Los Angeles Community College District.
And I guess in addition to that, I would ask, is this sort of the industry standard? I mean, the students that would be going into automotive repair, what have you, tend to use Snap-on as the tool of choice as far as we know. Any thoughts about that?
The program is designed on the NC3 certification, and NC3 certification uses this product. I am not the subject matter expert, so I'll defer to Mr. Tang.
Okay.
Good evening. The NC3 certification program is one of industry standards for the automotive industry. So Snap-on is related to NC3 in terms of being the prime vendor that they recommend.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So seeing no more requests to speak, we can go and vote on the item. A unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory vote that just disappeared. It's yes, okay, thank you. It was on and then it left. All right, so moving on to 6.8, agreement for operations of before and after school and summer enrichment activities and camps programs, amendment number 1, Capistrano Unified School District. I have a motion from trustee Jemal, a second from trustee Jay. Seeing no requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. Unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Thank you very much. Moving on to 6.9, award of contracts to pool of legal services firms and appoint Randy Erickson from Erickson Law Firm as General Counsel. I have a motion from trustee Witt, a second from trustee Jemal, and a request to speak from trustee Jemal.
Trustee Lang, I'll let you go first.
Yes, actually, my only comment was that I wanted to publicly thank Warren Kinsler, who has served in this role for many years for our district and has done an excellent job, in my opinion, and appreciate all of his wise counsel over the years. Thank you.
And I just want to echo what Trustee Lang has said. I think Warren has been our general counsel for 18 years. Probably Trustee Lang since you went on the board. He's been the general counsel. Yeah. So I understand he's been our general counsel for 18 years, and that's admirable, and I think he served well. But I also, at the same time, want to commend the administration, led by Chancellor Burke, I think Vice Chancellor Gable, I don't know, Cindy, if you were involved, to move forward and get a refresh. And it's something the administration did not have to do. I think from time to time it is useful to go through a process like this, and I commend you for doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just kind of piggyback on that. He has been an invaluable resource for us up to this point. I know I sat through his Brown Act presentation at the CCLC conference a few years back, and he's much more dynamic here than he was in that presentation, but he does know his Brown Act violations very well, and I appreciate his counsel on that. So with that, we'll go ahead and vote on 6.9. We have a unanimous yes vote, trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Thank you. Moving on to 6.10, award of contract for security services at Advanced Technology and Education Park, Absolute International Security, Inc. A motion from trustee Wright, a second from trustee Witt, and a request to speak from trustee Jemal.
Well, I'm just going to ask Chancellor if you wouldn't mind, because we had a conversation, I think, during our officer call about this issue, just to explain this contract and why it's needed. If you could do that.
So I'm going to pass this on to Vice Chancellor Gable.
Yes, thank you. So this security contract is a supplement to our IVC security that is provided at ATEP during the day. We've always had security over at ATEP since we first started doing it. We've contracted out the night shifts as well as the holidays, and so we're continuing on with that. They work in conjunction with the IVC PD, but they are there at night starting at 7 p.m. through, 11 p.m. through 7 a.m., and then they're there on the weekends for 24 hours. So we have complete 24/7 coverage between IVC PD and this contracted out security service over at ATEP.
Thank you for that explanation. Trustee Lang.
Yes, I noticed that there was some discrepancy, well, not discrepancy, let me say differential between the different bids that we received for this. And there was, I didn't feel like I got a good explanation from reading through this agenda item of exactly what they would be doing in connection with their protection services. I mean, we talked about installing cameras, driving by on a regular periodic basis, or what are we talking about here?
No, they are actually on site,
Okay.
and they have access to the lobby within the IDEA building, but they are required to patrol the entire 60 acres, so both the occupied and the unoccupied. And then we have digital monitoring, so there are check-in points so that we will be able to go back and follow and make sure that they are doing the routes as they are supposed to be doing.
Okay. Have we thought about the use of cameras, drones, anything of that nature?
There are some security cameras that IVC has put into the IDEA building, but they don't cover the exterior.
I don't think those are designed necessarily for security purposes, or certainly external security purposes.
They're not designed for active monitoring. They're really designed to capture if something happens, and you can go back and look at the video and try to identify the suspects from that point in time.
Are we good?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
All right.
yep.
Trustee Witt.
Was there ever an option to hire more part-time and we contain our security there instead of outsourcing it?
I'm going to look to David for that one because the security, although it's at ATEP, it is a supplement to IVC's PD. And so I think they found that it was more economical to contracted out, and it's something that they've been doing for years.
Yes, good evening. I wasn't involved in the actual selection process, but in the very beginning, there was a discussion about doing exactly that, the comparison between utilizing the campus police part-time officers versus the contracted option. And I believe when that analysis was conducted, all the pros and cons considered, this was the option selected.
So was it really or wasn't it? I mean, you say you think it was. I mean, this is huge, bringing some new people in where we could use our own resources. I live in San Clemente, and I like to make purchases in San Clemente. I want to keep in my own neighborhood. So I'm asking, are we doing that here? I think that's important.
Correct. I don't have the numbers, but if you look at the long-term cost and benefit analysis, I believe that was done, and I don't have the numbers myself, but we can get that information.
I don't necessarily want you to use all that time. It would take a lot. I just want to know if it was done. That's all.
I believe so.
Okay.
All right.
I do think it's important to note, though, as well, that it's not always going to be just IVC's building. It's eventually going to build in. And
Whatever, if it's Saddleback, use our district part-timers, Saddleback or IVC.
But we don't have a district force. There's a Saddleback force and there's an IVC force.
Well, then
so
we'll
if it
use
becomes
Saddleback
if it's
or
ATEP
IVC.
is a district run essentially operation, it wouldn't be IVC's responsibility to have their police force hire. I think they're thinking long-term into the coverage of it as a whole.
Well, I'm just talking from nursing, working registry, which is your part-timers working wherever. You make a lot more money through that, which I liken to this one, taking a outside company and having them come in. I'm assuming that they cost more than our own.
Well,
No, actually, the contracted company costs less than our own employees.
Because of our retirement?
Because of the benefits, yes.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
$700,000 over 4 years, 5 years.
5.
I teach history, not math. So that's
Okay,
you
if
break
it's
that down,
cost
that's way
effective, then
cheaper.
I'm on board. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Trustee Jemal.
Sorry, just a point of clarification. So the campus itself is if you will, a joint venture between IVC and Saddleback College. At this time, there's only one building that is functioning or receiving students, and that's the Idea Building, correct? And so the security responsibility is considered IVC's to be IVC's responsibility, correct? And so if there is a Saddleback College building that's ever constructed, then that's going to be their responsibility. Or, we need to see where the puck is going and think ahead. Mm-hmm. And I assume you've done that?
Yes.
For that scenario?
We will. Right now, it is IVC, and then there's the unincorporated area. So it is somewhat of a shared responsibility between IVC and district services related to the ATEP portion. But it is something that will be, we have to look at the same thing for custodians and for grounds and, everything else. Once we have 2 buildings there, what's going to be the best, most cost-effective way to continue to maintain both of those buildings.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. No more requests to speak. We'll go ahead and vote on the item. Okay, we have a 5 trustee yes vote, 1 trustee abstention, 1 trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on. 6.11, award of contract for external evaluation of the collaborative research. NSF includes Alliance STEM Core Expansion Cooperative Agreement, SRI International. We discussed this a little bit earlier. We have a motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Jay. Seeing no more requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. You have a unanimous trustee yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Next, we have 6.12. Before I get a motion, a second, we are going to pull 6.12 BP 1500 and refer that to the new board policy subcommittee. So you have something to do already. So we're motioning for 6.12 with the removal of BP 1500. A motion from trustee Lang and a second from trustee Jay. Request to speak from trustee Jemal.
Yes, so I want to talk about Board Policy 158. That's regarding political activity of board members, and I believe we're going to, the administration supportive of changing the language or deleting there's a paragraph in there that we were going to remove. Is that correct, Anne Marie? Do we want to, we should let people know about that change and read it in for the consideration? Correct.
So the newly highlighted yellow portion is not in the printed version? The one that we have electronically is different than the print?
I believe correct me if I'm wrong, Vice Chancellor, is that the yellow highlighted portion will be stricken from the board policy.
Correct. The highlighted paragraph.
Okay, so that was printed. So that whole thing is coming out or just that portion? Okay.
And I think if you need an explanation, that as a elected board of trustees, we are allowed to endorse candidates or ballot measures on our own as elected officials. And I think what this would have done is proscribe that, which I believe is a lawful activity. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
That language, it does appear in the policy regarding political activity for employees.
Correct.
And in the case of employees, that does apply. But it should not have been added to this one regarding board members. Once we separated out the two board policies, one addressing only the board members and then another separate one addressing the employees.
Correct.
So just be it known that that entire yellow section is now going to be deleted. Got it. Okay. Anybody else? No other requests to speak? We'll go ahead and vote on the item as amended. We have a unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.13, board policy revisions for review and study. Trustee Jemal, motion, and a second from trustee Lang. Seeing no requests to speak, we'll vote on the item. Unanimous yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.14, approval of agreement of HR financial software system Workday, Inc. I have a motion from trustee Wright, second from trustee Lang. A request to speak from trustee Jemal.
So this, just, I'd love to hear from the administration briefly. As many people in this room know, there were strong expressions of concern regarding Workday as early as a couple of years ago. Is it my understanding now that things have improved and that there seems to be strong support among the classified staff, faculty, deans, administrators, managers for Workday?
It's kind of a loaded question, right?
It's not meant to be loaded. Well, I mean, then answer honestly.
I always do.
Always answer with the pure heart.
I think Workday has gotten better. There have been changes that have been made. Is everybody happy with Workday? I would say no. But is everybody always happy with any ERP system? I would say no. So it's gotten better. We are trying to make improvements to it. We continue to make process changes to try to make it easier to work with. And so I think in lieu of scrapping it and starting all over, it's better than doing that.
Because a 5-year, I mean, we're all in now, once we go on a 5-year contract.
Well, even
here.
though it's a 5-year, we do have an exit clause, so we can get out. But we just negotiated the 5 years, so that way we could lock in the increases each year. So when we first started, I think they wanted an 8% increase each year. We were able to negotiate that down to a fixed 3% increase for each year. And by doing a 5-year contract, we have that fixed 3% for each of those 5 years. But we do have an out clause if we so choose to try to look at another ERP system. But having worked with the other 3 big ones that are out there in my career, I would say Workday is probably number 2 on my self chart. So
Okay, so you just invited it. Who's number 1?
Well, for me, it's Banner.
Okay.
But I have worked with Datatel and I have worked with PeopleSoft, and now I'm working with Workday. So they all have their pluses and minuses. You know, I think Workday has some features that the other don't. The best thing about Workday, I think, is that it's in the cloud, and that can also be the worst thing because we don't have the ability to customize it like we would with some of the other systems. And probably the reason I like Banner best is because we customized it to do everything that we wanted to do with it.
So can I summarize, I think, your remarks from the loaded question is that this is the ERP that we currently have, and that given the alternative of possibly selecting another ERP and then engaging in a further round of training that may be more suitable to some, that it's best to just continue to use this existing ERP, at least for now.
Yes, you said that much more eloquently than I did.
And I would add, as a new employee to the district who's never worked with Workday, it was fairly easy to learn. So,
Yeah, it's probably easier to learn it if you never used it than if you were used to something else and
well,
having to change.
you know, and as I was working in other districts, but
Yeah.
it was not difficult for me to pick up how to use it.
Vice Chancellor Ramucci, you look eager to chime in here, but I assume this is part of it is that we had a kind of a package deal with Workday, did we not? Like there were some other advantages with switching over to them beyond just what it had to offer?
We made 2 deals with them. One, we also assisted them in building their Workday student product, which is currently under construction. It's a nuanced issue because you have to look at the movement of these products in time, and Workday was the first to go to a cloud-based system. The others are attempting to do that, but notice with Banner, if you go to Banner in the cloud, you lose all the customizations that make it so attractive. So looking at it, part of it is where you're poised for, whether now or later. The Workday uses a configuration engine. Imagine a giant wall of switches that together acts like custom coding. It's a completely different model. Technically, that product segment, the ERP segment in higher education, was moribund and needed. It was grown through acquisitions, and so what may look like a unitary product behind the scenes is a disparate collection of acquisitions. So this product area needed to be shaken up, and now it has been. And so I think the entry of Workday into that system as a 4th major entrant has changed all the players. And so the entire product segment has been lifted by that endeavor.
Trustee Witt?
I have a question. If I would Google this and ask how long does it take for a software system to be implemented and user-friendly, how many years would they say?
It's known in the ERP business that the product is less of a challenge than what is termed the change management. That many times you cannot compel change, or people, many times the reasons why they don't like it aren't directly involved to the utility of the software.
Okay, that's been 5 years.
So yes, and as we've noticed, the initial negative reaction has largely been tempered. There are still some folks that are missing some functions that they would like, but I think a lot of the significant dissatisfaction with it was attenuated from two directions, one by the maturity of the product and the other just by the change management process.
Okay. Having worked in the hospital with several systems and then putting Epic in, I mean, it was 5 years, you either use it or you don't, especially for physicians. They couldn't practice if they didn't use it. But if I go into the hospital now, the only complaint is like when your computer update to your new iOS or whatever. But it is, I have to say, user-friendly. And I still hear the complaints. And maybe it's just that people will voice complaints as opposed to, hey, it's great. I don't know, most people like to talk about negatives. But in 5 years, I would like to have a percentage of people who like it more than don't like it. That's my comment.
Okay. Seeing no more requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. We have a 5 trustee yes vote, 1 trustee abstention, 1 trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.15, academic employee and classified administrator personnel actions.
Board
Any
President.
changes?
No changes, Board President Prendergast. We have 6 administrative contracts on the board tonight, and as per our legal obligation, there's certain information that needs to be read aloud. So the Office of Human Resources has provided for you a sheet of all 6, if you would like to read those into the record.
As written, all right. Okay, position 1, Assistant Dean of Career and Technical Education, Carrie Irwin, contract July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2021. Range 20, step 4, annual salary 159,312, monthly allowances, mileage 125, cell phone 165. Position 2, Assistant Vice President of Community Education, Emeritus Institute and K-12 Partnerships, employee Karima Feldis, contract July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. Range 23, step 8, annual salary 224,184, monthly allowances, mileage 360, cell phone 165. Position 3, Dean of Enrollment Services, Christian Alvarado, July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2021. Range 22, step 8, annual salary 213,480, mileage 250, cell phone 165. Position 4, Dean of Health Sciences, Kinesiology and Athletics, employee Keith Shackelford, July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2021. Range 22, step 8, annual salary 213,480, monthly allowances, mileage 250, cell phone 165. Position number 5, Dean of Kinesiology and Athletics, Daniel Kloss, July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2021. Range 22, step 4, annual salary 175,632, monthly allowance, mileage 250, cellular phone 165. Position 6, Vice Chancellor of Technology and Learning Services, employee Robert Bermucci, contract July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022. Range 27, step 8, annual salary 272,472, monthly allowances, mileage 625, cell phone 165, telephone internet 100. And that is all 6. Any other information necessary for this item? So I have a motion from Trustee Lang, a second from Trustee Jay. Seeing no requests to speak, we can vote on the item. We have a 5 trustee yes vote, 1 trustee abstention, 1 trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.16, faculty conversion to Canvas one-time stipends. Need a motion and a second. I have a motion from Trustee Jay and a second from Trustee Wright. We have no one requesting to speak. Go ahead and vote on the item. You have 5 trustee yes vote, 1 trustee no, 1 trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.17, classified personnel actions.
No changes?
No changes. We have a motion from trustee Wright, second from trustee Lang. Seeing no requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. We have a unanimous yes vote, 1 trustee absent, 1 student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.18, non-bargaining unit personnel action.
No changes?
No changes. Motion from trustee Jay, second from trustee Witt. Seeing no request to speak, we'll vote on the item. Unanimous trustee yes vote, 1 trustee absent. Student advisory yes vote. Moving on to 6.19, employee agreement, Dr. Elliott Stern, President, Saddleback College.
So, Board President, this one would also require the readout. I apologize, we didn't have one ready for this one, so I will read it for you quickly. This is a contract for Dr. Elliott Stern, base salary of $229,632. The term of the contract is January 14, 2019 through June 30th, 2021. And he will be receiving a monthly allowance of $100 for telephone internet expenses, $165 for transportation, and $625 for transportation, $165 for cellular service, and $100 for internet service, and a $10,000 relocation stipend. Dr. Stern is relocating from the state of Washington to South Orange County.
Thank you very much. Request to speak from trustee Jemal.
So, Dr. Stern, if you're watching, we look forward to your starting your position at Saddleback College next month. I think that I want to thank the Chancellor for establishing a process that was a collaboration, if you will, with all stakeholders and all shareholder groups at the college, including the Board of Trustees. We had the opportunity to interview the finalists alongside the Chancellor, and all very good candidates. And I'm really looking forward to Dr. Stern starting. I think he has a very impressive intellectual curiosity, and I think he has possibly the ability to come forward and transform Saddleback College in a meaningful way, an already great college, and make it even better. And I think I really look forward to him starting his position at Saddleback College. I know there've been a long period of time without a permanent leader, and we thank Dr. Bice for stepping in the interim. But Saddleback College does need a permanent president, and I really look forward to his tenure as president of Saddleback College. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate, thank you, Dr. Bice, for taking it on and helping us out. That's really appreciated.
Here, here.
Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. We have a 5 trustee yes vote, 1 trustee abstention, 1 trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Okay, moving on to 6.20, final action in public session, Irvine Valley College student discipline. And then we also have 6.21. Trustee Wright, would you like to read out the first one?
Yes, I will. The chair will entertain a motion for the following. The board accepted in closed session a recommendation of a disciplinary hearing panel for expulsion of an Irvine Valley College student pursuant to board policy and administrative regulation 5401, and that the board hereby does expel the student effective immediately and directs the chancellor or designee to notify the student of the board action.
Okay, seeing no request to speak, we'll vote on this item as soon as I get a second. I have a motion from trustee Jay and a second from trustee Lang. We have a unanimous trustee vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. 6.21, would you like to go ahead and read that, Trustee Wright, as well?
The chair will entertain a motion for the following. The board accepted in closed session a recommendation of a disciplinary hearing panel for expulsion of an Irvine Valley College student pursuant to board policy and administrative regulation 5401, and that the board hereby does expel the student effective immediately and directs the chancellor or designee to notify the student of the board action.
I have a motion from Trustee Lang, second from Trustee Jay. Seeing no request to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. You have a unanimous trustee yes vote, one trustee absent, and a student advisory yes vote. Moving on to reports, 7.0. 7.1 would be California Community College's Chancellor's Office Vision for Success update. Any questions on that? Seeing none. 7.2, list of board requested reports, which I don't believe there are any. 7.3, Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College speakers. 7.4, staff response to public comments from previous board meeting. There are none. 7.5, facilities plan status report. 7.0, Trustee Wright.
Again, I just wanted to ask the question, how is the stadium coming?
Good question.
So we just received DSA approval on the stadium, so that was a huge milestone.
Okay.
The contractor is in the process of doing an updated schedule based upon the DSA certification. So it's moving along. I would say that the 2 days of downpour set us back a little bit, but they are trying to look at a recovery schedule. So we don't know yet if we're still going to hit the targeted completion date of August 2019.
Okay.
But
thank you.
Okay, seeing no more requests to speak. 7.6, monthly financial status report. 7.7, retiree OPEB trust fund. Okay, that takes us to 8.0, reports from administration and governance groups. We'll start with Saddleback College Academic Senate. Blake Stevens.
So I'm going to use my teacher voice because the speaker's not turning on. Was 10 days to the solstice, and all through the college, not a creature was stirring, at least to my knowledge. No report, happy holidays.
Okay, Faculty Association, Kurt Meyer.
He turns it right on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will not sing to you tonight. Thank you, President Prendergast and the fellow board members, for the opportunity to address the board. I want to wish everyone a warm, restful, joyous, and above all, safe holiday season. As you all know, safety is on our mind, and per Article 21 of the 2015-2018 Master Employee Contract, faculty member safety is a primary concern of the district and the Faculty Association. I trust that the safety of all employees and students are our district's and our shared primary concern. I want to thank Trustee Evelyn Huang and IVC ASG President Matthew Rosenborough for their leadership in advocating student safety and for reminding us that safety shouldn't be politicized, it should be a right. I want to especially thank my colleague Lisa Alvarez for urging the colleges to reconsider our approach to protect students, staff, and faculty, and for recognizing that you, the board, has an opportunity, and I would add responsibility, to lead in matters of improving employee and student safety. I want to thank Vice Chancellor Viskachil for recognizing that such improvements must involve all of us working together to develop a protocol and process governing how to respond to concerning communications and incidents, to form a threat assessment team that includes faculty from the start, to provide timely and ongoing notification of faculty who are affected by such threats and incidents, and to follow up regarding their well-being and greater support services, and to honestly assess all aspects of campus safety. From classrooms, instructional spaces that are secure and mold-free, to how Title IX, student complaints, and student discipline cases are handled, to how faculty, staff, administration, and students are appropriately notified by campus police and our college leadership of information essential to our personal safety, and much more. So may we embrace our shared work, right, with wisdom and respect and courage and moral leadership. And thank you for that.
Thank you. IVC Academic Senate, June McLaughlin.
That's a me thing. Thank you. I want to also underscore some of the Faculty Association remarks. I want to comment specifically to Student Trustee Huang and President of ASIVC Matt Rossborough, that faculty are concerned about what you're concerned about, and we want to talk to you and hear you. And if students feel that faculty are not hearing them, we want to do a better job, and that we will renew our efforts in the spring semester. Campus safety is an academic senate concern as well. Many faculty have lost faith in the process. College leadership at IVC have engaged in good dialogue with Senate and the Faculty Association, and more needs to be done, and we will get back to that work in the spring. Thank you, and have a good holiday.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor, Technology and Learning Services, Dr. Bob Ramucci.
I want to congratulate Jeff Doors, who this week was honored by Chancellor Burke with the District Services Manager Administrator of the Year Award. Jeff has made exceptional efforts to keep us and our computer network safe, and it's a well-deserved honor. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Chancellor, Human Resources, Dr. Viscachill.
Just want to wish everyone a safe and restful holiday season. I, for one, will be focusing on the rest part, and no report. Thank you.
All right. Vice Chancellor, Business Services, Dr. Gable.
Thank you. I'd like to report that Letitia Clark and I spent last Wednesday, December 5th, up in Sacramento at the Capitol. We visited with several senators and assembly members. We joined the CCLC for a Capitol Advocacy Day, and we were advocating on behalf of both Saddleback and Irvine Valley College for our capital outlay projects. So we are hoping to see the Gateway Building and the Fine Arts Complex in the state budget. We received much support from everyone that we spoke to, so we just need to keep the pressure on. But I think overall it was a very good day up there. And happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. Next we have Irvine Valley College Classified Senate, Maria Nunez.
No report.
Okay. All right. Then we have CSEA Association, Scott Green. Normally. All right, we can go the other way. It doesn't matter to me. It's the list, it's in the order.
Thank you very much. I want to give a hearty thank you to the Board of Trustees for being able to allow the classified to recognize President Trump's declaration of a day of mourning for our former president, George H.W. Bush. CSA actually inquired with the district, and thank you very much, Vice President Jemal, as president. Thank you very much for that consideration. Thank you, Dr. Burke, because I know you were part of the process. And I did want to acknowledge Dr. Cindy Viscachill and Executive Director of Human Resources, Kim Wittes. It is very refreshing that though they do their utmost and their due diligence to protect the interests of the district, that they do keep an open dialogue when approached by the classified CSEA in particular, to be able to talk about particular issues that may be of concern, or with something like this, which is a very good holiday present for the classified. It did wonders for morale, and what a way to start off the holiday. During this time of the year, it's usually when Most people will be with family and friends. They'll watch holiday movies. Someone who works in the cinema and TV department, I'd like to recommend a holiday movie that's called Joey Noel, Merry Christmas. It is directed by Christian Carillon from France. I got a chance to meet him. He actually came up with an idea of that movie because on his farm he found shells from World War I buried in his farmland. And so he actually came up with the idea of doing a movie about how people can actually come together. And it was Christmas in 1914, where you had two warring sides being able to celebrate the holidays and have peace. And so I wanted to wish everyone really good winter holidays. And hopefully, when you think about it, since World War I, you can count up the number of days, literally days, of when there's been worldwide peace. But hopefully, in all this time, for these holidays, may we have peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Saddleback College Classified Senate, Darren England.
Good evening. On behalf of the Saddleback College Classified Senate and classified staff members, we wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year.
Thank you very much. So with that, we will go ahead and adjourn. Everyone have a nice evening. Happy holidays.